Welcome to Reddissimo, home of great Reddit stories. Don't forget to subscribe now.
AITA for taking my kids to my parents' house to sleep because my husband will not enforce the rules when his parents visit. We live 3 blocks away from my parents and they see our kids almost every day. My husband's parents live a couple of states away and only see the kids a few times a year. It's easy when we go see them since we only visit when the kids are off school. But when they come see us, it is at random intervals through the year. Not a problem really. They are excellent grandparents. With one small exception. They think our rules go out the window when they visit. It's mean that we don't make the kids their favorite food every day. Why can't the kids watch TV with them before they do their chores and homework? Why do the kids have to be in bed so early? It drives me crazy that I'm the bad guy because my husband won't put his foot down, so I have to do it. They came last week. On Monday, as soon as dinner was over, they wanted the kids to pay attention to them. They wanted to take the kids to see Avatar. On a school night. My husband allowed it. Last straw. I told him that he knew that throwing the kids off their schedule screwed me over. So I gave him the choice of either enforcing our rules or I would. He said he would take care of it. Second night, there was a hockey game on. He wanted to watch it with our son who loves hockey. I reminded my husband that our son had chores to do and homework. He said it was just a hockey game. I told the kids to get their stuff. I took them and a change of clothes and their homework to my parents' house. My mom and dad will watch them and then take them to school in the morning. I went back home and they were waiting for me. I'm being a controlling and abusive person by denying them time with the kids. I'm not the only person allowed to make decisions regarding the kids. They came all this way to see them and I'm being a jerk by keeping them on a schedule. Fine. They are visiting for a couple of weeks. Wednesday after I picked up the kids from school and dropped them off at home with my in-laws. Then I went out for the first time in ages. I told my husband I would be out late and didn't want to wake anyone, so I would be at my parents' house. Did the same thing Thursday through tonight. My husband has been calling and texting and coming over to tell me I need to come home because the house is a disaster because his parents won't do anything. They are in vacation and they are there to see the kids not clean up. The kids are having a fun time with no rules and he has been contacted by the school because no homework was turned in on Thursday or Friday. I didn't answer those texts. I said I would be back after his parents left or he enforced the rules. He said I was taking it too far and that it was affecting his work. Honestly, tough shit. AITA. Edit. My son just texted me about his gym clothes for today. I guess he never put them on the hamper and they didn't get washed. Now I'm wondering what else my husband didn't get done. Edit 2 to add information. Kids are 9 and 11. In-laws visit 4 or 5 times a year for at least a week. Comments. I feel for you. You're going to have to pick up the pieces after all of this. They might not learn their lesson and you still have extra work to do. There's 3 adults, can't one of them put together a meal? They're just being lazy and expecting you to do everything for them. You are not the hired help. They should treat you as such. I'd be fuming. Second comment. I really don't know what to say. Your in-laws' behavior aren't the best and part of it is calculated. You need to handle the matter with tact. Your husband is really to blame here, his refusal to put his foot down makes you look like the bad guy here. You on the other hand must tread with caution. It is not an issue worth destroying your marriage over. AITA for not having my stepdaughter picked up while my husband was on a business trip. My husband has a daughter with another woman who was conceived during a time when our relationship was open. We only found out about her when my stepdaughter was 3 and her mother has been a headache to deal with from the start. She's even gone so far as to encourage my stepdaughter to behave badly whenever she's at ours. We have her one weekend a month, but my husband was going to be away on a business trip when she was supposed to be with us. I decided it would be for the best if my stepdaughter stayed with her mother instead of with me while my husband was gone for several reasons. Her behavior is a lot worse whenever my husband isn't around, as she doesn't think she has to listen to me, and she's extremely rude to our nanny. Our oldest and her constantly fight, which isn't something I wanted to deal with. Lastly, her mother has made it clear in the past that she doesn't want her daughter left alone with me, so I thought this was the perfect solution that would keep everybody happy. My husband was fine with it, and he informed my stepdaughter's mother. That Friday, I only asked our nanny to collect my son from school, as I assumed her mother would collect her since she would be staying with her. She wasn't picked up on time, and her mother called me furious that we left her there. She tried to make me go and collect her, but I refused, so now she's accusing me of trying to isolate her daughter from her siblings, and for being a nasty stepmother. She couldn't get into contact with my husband, so she called his family to try to make me look bad and to force me to take my stepdaughter during my husband's time with her even though he wasn't there. AITA. First comment. Many consider the Bible old-fashioned, but its wisdom is eternal. Simply following the Bible's admonishment to be faithful to one's partner would have saved you all this agony. Read Hebrews 13 verse 4. Don't expect much from your stepdaughter's mom. Anyone who would gladly sleep with another person's spouse will have questionable behavior. Her toxicity is therefore no surprise. What makes it worse is her sense of entitlement. You are damned if you picked your stepdaughter, you're damned if you don't. In this event, however, you should have picked your stepdaughter since her mom gave you the permission to do so. Now that the deed is done, you have to move forward. For the weekend she's with you, since it is only once a month, treat her very special, perhaps, spoil her a little. Make it memorable. However, the frequency of her visits must never be more than once a month. I am from a polygamous family. My mom, who was the first wife, was loved and respected by her step-kids. So, it is possible to attain that goal. As a pal, she'd be less of a thorn in the flesh to you. Also, call your kids and your stepdaughter inclusive and teach them the need to be committed in marriage. That the present problem boils to that. My adulterous father drummed this into our heads. One of my stepmoms told me she'd never allow her daughter to be a second wife. Children learn and see things, though you'd think they are stupid and blind. Second comment. Depends what the custody arrangement is, if there is in fact a formal one, and at what point and how the mother was informed that the stepdaughter wouldn't be picked up and stay for the weekend. Regardless of whether or not there is a legal custody agreement, or how much warning the mother got, OP and her hubby don't just get to unilaterally decide they aren't having her and inform the other parent. They might not actually be permitted to make changes to the custody arrangement without specific agreement from the mother. There needs to be a discussion, agreement, and written confirmation between all parties. Perhaps the mother is deliberately causing strife and trying to turn the stepdaughter against OP. Or maybe, OP isn't exactly a shining example of a stepparent, and the SD came to those conclusions all by herself based on personal observation and treatment. The entire post is a litany of me, I thought, I don't want to deal with her bad behavior, I decided. No, we, OP and hubby, talked about it and came to this conclusion. No, we, OP, hubby and SD's mother, discussed the situation and agreed that this was best. No, SD, is fine with this arrangement, etc. It feels like there's an awful lot missing from this post, and more information could change people's minds on who the AH really is. Third comment. NTA. You definitely shouldn't have your husband's child when he's not around when the child has expressed that they don't like you, and her mother is uncomfortable with it. It's also not your responsibility to sort out pick-up arrangements for a child that isn't yours. Your husband is an AH for not making the time to see his daughter. One weekend a month isn't fucking difficult, and for not clearly communicating his plans to baby mama. Baby mama might be an if she engineered this situation to try and force you to take the daughter if she didn't want to cancel alternative weekend plans she'd made thinking it was your husband's weekend. If it was an honest miscommunication, then that fault lies at your husband's door.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe now. You are awesome.